Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Bossy, and today I am coming to you live from the swamps. Y'all, I was out here yesterday and it didn't feel totally safe. There was some guy out here who was asking me 1,000,001 questions. I went and I got my machete and then I felt bitter. You know what I mean? And then I sat down and I was fixing to record anyways. And my microphones were exhausted, like they wouldn't power up. And that has never happened before. So I knew that it was serious. I was like, okay, let me go home. Today I got out here and it felt so much better. It felt more peaceful. I feel calmer. I feel more relaxed. I feel, comfortable. I love coming out into the wilderness, into nature. I love the trees. People always ask me, why did you move to Louisiana? Baby, for the trees. Same reason I'll always be a Florida girl. I absolutely love Florida. I love the country up in New York, where I'm from, in upstate. We have some of the most beautiful maple trees you have ever seen. I am not here, however, for the bugs. Get somebody else to play with. Find you somebody else to play with. Okay. I know I'm in your natural habitat, but you ain't about to eat me. Oh, today's video, super quick. I want to talk with y'all about homelessness. Somebody left me a message, and on that message, they said, I don't know where to put this. I don't know if you'll ever read it, but I'm homeless right now, and I miss my altars. I was posting the other day the old community altar that I had for Santa Muerte. It was inside of the hearth, so it was on the floor of my defunct fireplace in my house, my old house at the Blue House. And I love that house. The house was a Haint Blue house. It was built in 1904. It was a beautiful, old, gorgeous house. And it was already painted Haint Blue, which is really good to keep the spirits away. And I had an altar that I put on the floor of the defunct fireplace, and I was missing it, and I posted that video. Hi. So I posted that, and she immediately sent me a message saying, I'm homeless and I miss my altars too. And I completely understand that. So today I want to talk about homelessness and what I did when I was homeless. I think there are levels. So it never feels comfortable to be outside of your comfort zone, right? Obviously. It never feels comfortable. It never feels easy to be in a period in your life, a place in your life where you don't have your own privacy and your own space. That is not a comfortable feeling. It's not a comfortable thing. So I absolutely understand that. I have been to the place where I'm sleeping in a car. I've been to a place where I am living in a motel. I have been in situations where there's nothing else for me to do. I need to go back home. And in each of these situations, there were a couple things that were occurring simultaneously, and things that I had to do to improve my situation. And when I say I improved my situation, the improvement was so fast. It was so quick that's the reason I decided to sit down here in the swamps and make this video for you today. So the first thing I want to say is I was relying too much on other people. So each time that I experienced homelessness, I was relying too much on other people. So the very first time I was in a relationship with a guy who was cheating. And I knew he was cheating because he was sleeping one night and there were messages coming through his phone, rapid fire. And this was back when you could just tap the screen and whatever the message was would be there on the screen. Somebody was in the shower sending that man videos of her in the shower, spreading it wide. Yes, there was. I hope there are no children watching. Yes, there was a video in that phone. And This was the first abusive relationship I was ever in, and I initiated the abuse. So I have to own up to that. The relationship was doomed from that moment. Because when I say I slapped the shit out of him, I slapped him out of his sleep. I slapped him out of his slumber to inquire about what the fuck this message was, what the F this message was. I did that. I did do that. Not one of my proudest moments. I've also gave that man a black eye. It was a really bad situation. And I had just moved in with him. And before that, I had been living with my older brother. It was a beautiful situation, only $400 a month. And this man, invited me to come stay with him. We're dating. It's like, I'll take care of everything. That's the first red flag. Somebody, I'll take care of it. That's not necessarily the problem, but when you immediately think that someone else taking care of it means that you no longer have to work, you no longer have to take care of things, you no longer have to contribute, baby, you no longer have to maintain a savings account, something. You have to keep those things in place, even if you have someone who is taking care of you. Even if you have someone who is taking care of the bills, you have to be still working, still getting your own money, still putting some money to the side. You should be saving more money than ever now that you got somebody else who's going to take care of it. So when he said he was going to take care of it, I believed him, and I became completely dependent. And my mother told me, you have to stop living off of people. You have to stop thinking that it's okay to live off of people. And I did realize that nobody's going to take care of me better than I'm going to take care of me. And that's one of the things that I learned in my life that really helped me to start making better decisions and helped me to become a person who builds my own business and creates my own lifestyle and takes care of myself, whether somebody else is around or not, whether I have roommates, family, a support system, good friends, a man, whatever. I'm taking care of me regardless. Okay. In this situation with this man, and he was a functional drunk. So his alcoholism was a problem almost from the very beginning. This is also the person who got me started smoking. And he didn't start me smoking no cigarettes. He had me smoking blacks. And it was like, I'm trying to smoke it. I'm like, this is disgusting. I can't. And he's like coaching me and telling me, this is how you do it. This is how, take your time. Like coaching me into a bad habit that I would have for almost over 10 years. After this, in order to quit smoking, you may already know this, I use Adam Cox, the hypnotist. I use his hypnotism pre-recorded audios, and I did a banishing on the habit of smoking and sent it back to that man. That's what I did. And I haven't picked up a cigarette in almost 2 years now. October 2023 is when I let that go. So I find this text message. And I'm scrolling, and it's a lot. Like, it's a lot of stuff in these messages for this man. And I slapped him awake, and we were instantly fighting. He ended up smashing his phone against the wall and breaking it into a million pieces because I told him, open this up and let me read through your messages, and he refused. So we already know it's some untoward things. It's some untoward things happening in those text messages. And I never did get into those messages, and that's fine. Oh, well. And I told him, I'm going to just go back to my brother's house. Okay? So we were arguing about that. I'm just going to leave. And I should have left. But what happened instead is that he told me, I'm going to buy you a car. And he did. He bought me a 1995 C220 classic Mercedes, so beautiful. And then he asked me a question. He said, just spoke directly to my little Sagittarius heart. He said, is there anywhere that you've always wanted to go? Anywhere you've always wanted to live? Like, before we started dating, I was dating a lot of people, a lot of women in Atlanta. Like, we could just leave Atlanta. I don't want to break up. We could just leave the whole city. And I was like, he's serious about me. Okay, I was like 22, so give me a break. But like, oh, he gonna move. He bought me a car. He put the car in my name. He bought me a little car, relocate me across the country. Okay. All right. This man And later, I'm going to tell y'all about that. It's so much shit that has happened in my life where I'm relying on someone, a friend, a family member, a boyfriend, a husband, and I end up having no place to live because I was relying on these people. So we end up relocating to San Diego, and he's still on that I'm gonna take care of everything type of thing. But San Diego is not Atlanta, not even close. So we get out there, it's extremely expensive. We can't afford it. I'm working at the Catholic diocese. So I work for the Catholic Church for a very short amount of time, making phone calls, contacting their parishioners, my witchy self. And we just couldn't afford to stay there. So we were living in a motel the entire time we were there, and then ended up having to live in the car. I eventually contacted a friend who told me that I can, come stay with her up in Vegas. And that's how I ended up in Vegas. To get myself out of this situation, because now I'm sleeping in someone's living room. Now I'm sleeping on the floor. Now I'm with this man and we homeless together, and he's embarrassed and I'm embarrassed. And although I don't think you should ever be embarrassed, like careers, work, business, money, all of that shit is hard. And very few of us are ever taught money skills, money literacy, money management. Like, honestly, if you find yourself in a bad way financially and have a hard time juggling all of these adult responsibilities that nobody prepared you for, I don't think you should feel embarrassed. But we did, especially him, because he was going to take care of it, remember? So we end up leaving that friend's house because it's just too much. It's too much drama. It's too much fuss. It's too much mess. And he's trying to do this online business. And the online business is not working. It's like online sales job kind of thing. It's not working out. It's not panning out. He started accepting fraudulent checks on Craigslist, got a check delivered to the house. And I'm not a scammer. I don't know nothing about the fraudulent lifestyle. I don't know nothing about that. So he get a check for $1,300. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, I think that he's getting money from the company because he is doing a good job. I don't know. He taking care of it. We living in a motel. Please get some money. And he said, well, I can't deposit it to my account. I cannot deposit it into my account. So can we please deposit it into your account? And I said, of course, no problem. Like, I'm not going to keep you from your money. Like, of course, we can put it through my account. Baby, we put that through my account, Wells Fargo. And they said, not you trying to commit fraud. And I was like, whoa. I wouldn't even know how to commit fraud. What the fuck are you talking about? And they closed my bank account, would not allow me to open another bank account. This is when I'm 22. Would not allow me to open up another bank account. And this is me relying on this man. And I think him knowing that it was fraudulent and using my bank account so that if something like this did happen, that I would be the one who's ass out. And shortly after that, I gave him a black eye. I did do that. Okay. So come to find out, he's still up to his old stuff, texting women back in Atlanta. Things are too tough out here. And I walked up behind him one day and he was on the computer texting. And I read the message he had just sent, and it said, bring daddy home, like asking this older woman to please fund his trip home. And that's when I blacked the eye. I had never blacked nobody's eye before. It just came up out of me. You know? I had never done anything like that in my life. Desperate measures. I don't know. Desperate times, okay? And I went back to my friend's house. And it was not a good situation. So I started working. I'm talking about really working. I'm talking about if my eyes were open, I was working. I'm doing readings. I'm at the office job. I'm working overtime. I'm there early. All I do is work. Got some money. Landed a job where I was making $20 an hour as a 20-something-year-old. I ended up getting this beautiful apartment. That man who had been cheating on me in the first abusive alcoholic, relationship, he came back. I would not let him come into my house. I would not let him come into my house. I left his ass stranded outside. Yes, I did. Because you're a cheater. And then I started dating somebody else. And the person I started dating after this, Aquarius, that guy was an Aquarius. The lying, cheating, drunkard was the Aquarius. My husband, Leo. Actually, I had a dream about him last night. I hadn't seen him in my dreams in years, so I hate that. But we started seeing each other. It was a terrible situation from the very beginning. He was 16 years older than me. It was not good. Beginning, he was extremely violent and abusive. He had bipolar disorder, some dissociative identity disorder shit going on, unmedicated, fully diagnosed, should have been on medicine, wasn't. And it was a really bad situation all around. I let him move into my apartment. My landlord was like, "What the fuck are you doing? He's not on the lease. Get out." So I got kicked out of my place. So now, again, I don't have a place. And he ends up renting some house, and now I'm dependent on him. I'm living with him in his house. End up getting married. It was terrible, awful. He's abusive, so I end up getting some money. He kicks me out of the house. I leave the house and end up roommating with some friends. I'm in a bad situation. I'm working. Here's my thing. When I don't have a steady and safe home situation, I can't even rest. Like, I can't even get comfortable. The only thing there is for me to do is work. I don't understand, like, how anybody could be comfortable enough to be like sitting around somebody else's house drinking and smoking all day, not working, when you don't have a safe, reliable living situation. Like, I can't even get comfortable. All I can do is clean and go to work. So that's what I do. The next time that I experienced homelessness, and I had to go home, is when I was down here in Louisiana for the first time in 2017. I couldn't find a job. It was really difficult for me, and it had never been difficult before, but this time it was really hard. Couldn't find a job, and I ended up trying to volunteer at this yoga studio, and that didn't pan out. And then I was carjacked at gunpoint by some 16-year-old little ragamuffin boy, and they set my car on fire. And now I don't have transportation. I don't have a job, so I had to go back home. As soon as I got back home, it's cold as shit. It's like 13 degrees outside. I'm not having a very fun time living at my mom's house. I'm 20 something. I'm a grown lady. I don't want to live with my mom. I like my mom a lot. I don't want to live with her. So I'm living with my mom. And my dad gave me her car. And it was a really weird situation because I moved back home after being carjacked and my car set on fire. And my mom was like, "I don't know what you gonna do." Like, this is how my mom was treating me. It was crazy. She's like, "I don't know what you gonna do." And I was like, "I'm gonna work, obviously." Like, I got a job immediately in New York. They hiring, okay? I got a job at a downtown law office, immediately started working. I was there early, there late, working as much as possible, making good money, saving all that money so I could get the hell on when it was time. And my mom was like, "I don't know what you're going to do. How you going to get to work?" At the time, I think my folks had like 3 or 4 cars. And I was just like, "I'll take the bus, I guess, in 13-degree weather, Mom. No problem." This is why I don't be going home. Like, this is why I don't be staying with that lady. I love my mom, and most of the stuff I will ever say about my mom is the good stuff because I'm able to focus on the good stuff. But I would never willingly live with my mom. No, never. I haven't wanted to live with my mom since I was 17 years old, which is actually the first time I experienced homelessness because her ex-husband was a fucking pervert creep. And my brother had 3 successive strokes. My mom had to take him home and take him to the hospital and help him heal. So again, she was like, "I don't know what you're going to do." That was my mom. One of her favorite lines. "I don't know what you're going to do." Basically, because I ain't got shit for you. I ain't got money for you. I cannot help you. So I've been like figuring out my own shit for a long time. Okay. That's when I started practicing witchcraft. I've talked about that before. We'll talk about it at a different time. But so I didn't feel safe at the house with her husband. And so what I ended up doing was calling around and seeing if I could go stay with friends. And I ended up staying with one of my magic teachers who I don't promote his work. I don't talk about him because in addition to posting stuff from Andrew Tate, when I had this terrible experience with my stepdad and I went to go stay with this teacher, he told me I could have the bedroom, and I thought it was disgusting because his sheets were black, but they had white spots all over. I was like, this is so fucking gross. Like, you invite somebody to come stay, you allow somebody to come stay, and you give them dirty sheets. That's crazy. So I was like, I'll just take the couch. He was like, it's okay. You can lay in the bed and I'll come lay down with you. So the next day I was gone. I went to another friend's house. None of the women were letting me stay with them. Not one of them. There was one guy friend. This is the person I called when my stepdad was tripping. He showed up, popped the trunk, and brought his assault rifle. Because he was in the army. He wanted them be all you can be type people. And he popped the trunk, and they was coming. My stepdad got the F on, okay? And so I had asked that brother if I could go stay with him, and his girlfriend was like, no. I was like, can I talk to her? Like, did you explain the situation to her and what's happening? And she was like, no, you can't stay. I was like, okay, bitch. Okay. And so I stayed with the teacher, and then I stayed with another man, and that man also was like, I'm telling you, when I say this man had multiple personalities. He was completely relaxed, docile, unassuming, polite, soft-spoken when we were around everyone else. And I thought this was his personality. The minute he got me alone in his house, his whole personality changed. He called me the C word. I had never been called the C word in my life. Right now, I would probably think it's a compliment, but I had never been called what in my life? He called me a C word, a tease, a B word, because I wouldn't sleep with him. I was like, do you understand this situation? First of all, I'm not attracted to you in the least, wasn't before, won't ever be. Secondly, do you know what has happened with my stepdad? Like, I don't want to see a man, let alone, like, I wish one of the women would let me stay with him. Baby, I started practicing witchcraft. And I don't think I've ever told this complete story before, but let me tell you, I got me a green candle. It wasn't fixed. It wasn't dressed. It wasn't nothing. By the time I was done, baby, I had money to go back to school. Baby, I'm talking about I had money to go back to school. One of the girls from my class had called me and said they needed a fourth roommate. I had me a place to stay. I had manifested 5,000 tax return, used it to buy me a car cash. My first car, didn't even have a license because I was scared to drive. Okay? I'm talking about, I'm 20 years old, 2 years into college. My mom had to go back home to New York. She immediately divorced her husband when I told her what happened. She said some stupid shit, but she did divorce him. And it was just like, everything was up in the air. It was terrible. And then I cast a spell and I practiced witchcraft. Let me tell you something. People who are like, oh, witchcraft is evil, bitch. Oh, well, I guess I'm going to just have to be evil then. I guess we just going to have to be evil, because the situation is, I'm asking Christian people, can I please come stay with you? This is what's happening. I'm asking people who are not witches, can I please do this? And I'm finding myself in really bad situations. Really bad situations. And so that was the first time I ever experienced. We're past that. So I had to go back home to New York. My mom has like 3-4 cars. I don't know what you're going to do. That's her favorite thing to say. She will always be like, you need to get a job. Turns out I'm a really good businesswoman. My mom never, ever suggested I start a business. She actually told me after I started my business and I was doing extremely well. Like, I passed the $250,000 mark my first year. And she was like, I'd never thought you would be good at business. I thought you were too lazy. So that's why I never suggested it. I was like, thanks, Mom. Appreciate that. Anyway, so I I'm staying with my folks. It's 13 degrees outside. We in upstate near Canada, in New York. Wintertime, I'm miserable. They literally put me in the living room of my sister's area upstairs, and then they stick me in a literal closet. Like, the room that I slept in is my youngest sister's closet now. So I was sleeping in a closet. And my mom, because my stepdad's birthday, her new husband, my stepdad's birthday is at the end of January. She bought him a car for his birthday. He wasn't carjacked at gunpoint and had his shit set on fire, but she bought her love a car. And he was like, I don't need this. He's a very frugal old white man. So yeah, no, he don't need this. He said, I'm gonna keep driving my shitty minivan. You can drive the new car, and I'm giving your daughter your car. So when I say that I went home to New York, I was carjacked, and then I went home to New York and had another car virtually the next day. My daddy gave me a car. That's what happened. That's what happened. Like, that's what happened. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with Cancerian moms sometimes, but that's what happened. So, yeah, I wanted to get the fuck out of there, obviously. So I was talking to my friends in Vegas, the ones I had stayed with before. I was sleeping on her floor. And I'm telling her, I want to start this business. And one day I was talking to her on the phone, and I said, you're baby doll Bruja. And she said, you bossy Bruja, like as an insult. So I changed the name of my business to Bossy Bruja, and I'm still trying to, so I don't cuss her out, another Cancer. I love my Cancers, I really do, but y'all, something wrong with y'all. Something is wrong with y'all. Just take it on the chin. Something is wrong with y'all. Some of the people I love the most, but literally, when it's bad, it's very bad, okay? And so I'm telling her, listen, I want to start a business. Let's start this business. Let's do this thing together. And she said, okay, come back to Vegas and we'll start this business. And I'm like, okay. So I've been saving all my money. Now I'm going to rent a car, drive it back across the country with all my books and all my stuff. And I'm coming back to Vegas. And I get there. And she's telling me, okay, I got us a place. Everything's in line. Everything is good. I get to Vegas. There is no, and I'm talking about there's nowhere to stay. And I'm like, I have to turn this rental back in. And there's no place to live. There's nothing. I think she even said I have jobs lined up for us. Nothing. She lied. This is why I say something is wrong with Cancers be lying unnecessarily sometimes. And I don't know what it is or why it is. They lie to themselves and they'll lie to your ass. I don't know why. I thought it was really strange. I don't even know if it was intentional or malicious, if she was just trying to save face. I have no idea. If she thought she would have it by the time I got there, I don't know. All I know is I got there and there was no place. So I had to use the last of my money to move into a motel. I think the next time was the last time. I was relying on a boyfriend, staying with him. He's going to take care of everything. I'm now 29. And my astrologer is telling me, you're going to have to figure out like your relationship with budgets and money and work and responsibility, because that is what's going to happen. Astrologer was saying, because it's shit about to get real. So I went to go stay with my friend. This is the same friend I always stay with. And I was looking for work in Greensboro. And I ended up finding work at a downtown witch shop as a card reader. I was also working online as a card reader because I couldn't stand another minute of being with that man in Miami. We were living in a storage unit. He had moved me from Vegas after that situation with my friend. And we pull up to a storage unit and he didn't tell me it was a storage unit. He didn't tell me ahead of time. He didn't tell me, hey, by the way, we live in a storage unit. I had to just figure that out once we got there. And I'm like, literally, like, is it the quality of people that I choose to be associated with? Do these people just think low of me? Am I too much of a hippie? Am I too nice? Am I too understanding? Like, what is it about me that makes people think, oh, she'll be cool with it? And I couldn't stand it. So I left and I went up to Greensboro and all I did was work. This is the friend who, when she would cook meals and wouldn't share it with me. You know, I didn't have money for food. I'm just trying to make it. He's still sending me occasional money, but now he cheating on me, and his side woman called me on my phone at 5 o'clock in the morning. It was horrible. And I would just clean her dishes and clean her house and help her out as much as I could. And then a couple years later, after I started Bossy Bruja, and remember, this is the friend who I wanted to start the business with. And yeah, come to Vegas, we'll start it. I realized that I could not keep waiting on people. I couldn't rely on them. Motherfuckers can barely rely on themselves. I couldn't rely on them. I couldn't wait for them. And I just went ahead and started Bossy Bruja on my own. Years later, that friend came to me and said, I need to move out of my apartment. She had a child. I really need money. And I gave her money. I don't even remember. I think it was like $800, maybe more. I don't know. She needed money. I gave it to her. Thank you so much for all your help over the years. Oh, I'll pay you back. Don't worry about it. Okay. One lesson in that is that you never know who you gonna need. Just because a person needs you today don't mean you won't need them tomorrow. Okay. And then also, I learned that you cannot wait on people. You can't rely on people. You can't live off of people. You can't wait for somebody else to do it and somebody else to take care of it. If you have an idea, act on it. Act on it. Most of your friends, even your really good friends, are not going to support. They're not going to help. They're not going to shop with you. They're not going to show up. They're just not. They're just not. And so if you've ever wondered, like, why does Bossy act like this? Who hurt her? Everyone, bitch. Why do I act like this? Why do I cut people off so quickly? Why am I really not with the bullshit? Why I don't fuck around? Why I don't permit people to waste my time? Why I don't even fucking play like that? It's all these different experiences with people where they say one thing, they do another thing, they see me struggling, they don't give a fuck. They tell me over and over, I don't know what you gonna do. Essentially, because I'm not helping you. And so you figure it out on your own anyways. If you are in a place where you are homeless, one of the things that was consistent with all these experiences is that somebody had to be left. I either had to leave family, a friend, a boyfriend, a husband. Somebody got to go. Everybody can't come. Somebody got to go. Okay? The other thing is, if you are displaced, the last thing you would want to do is be getting high every day. How you can even get comfortable is beyond me. Baby, get up and go to work. There are places, and I've utilized them so I know, where you can go and get some professional style clothes. And there are places where, well, back in the day, you could go and get your clothes laundered, like a fluff and fold, very, very affordable. In case you don't have a washer and dryer or a place to like steam your clothes or whatever, you can go to a laundromat or dry cleaners and get it done affordably in some places. Just look. And then I would be working all the time. That's what happened the last time I was homeless, was with this friend. And it was like, she was pregnant. She gave birth to her son. The baby daddy didn't even come, but I was there. And I can't have no rice. Girl, that was the last time. That was the last time. That was the last time. Now, what happened in my Saturn return, where I was like, I will be responsible for me. Nobody can take better care of me than me. And I ended up starting my business. The business exploded. I didn't wait on anybody to help me. I just figured it out. And I had a lot of anger issues because I dealt with multiple abusive men, violent, abuse in relationships, and all types of just terrible experiences with people. That's why I don't really fuck with people. I don't really fuck with a lot of people. If I fuck with you, you lucky. And let me tell you, if I even start to feel like I can't fuck with you, it won't be long. It won't be long. If I hang out with you and I'm losing money, it won't be long. The quality of life is going down. You supporting terrible habits. Even if you seem cool on the surface, it won't be long. So I had to leave some people behind. I had to start working my ASS off. People would be calling out from the witch store, the downtown witch shop. They knew they could call me. I'm on the way. I would be walking 2 miles downtown, walking. I'm on my way. I'm coming. And I didn't just go there, do my job, and leave. I went there, helped open up, helped clean, helped shut the place down. I'm walking out the door with the owner. Very grateful for this position. Very grateful. Okay? I would say work your ass off. Whoever you need to let them go today. And don't rely on anybody else to take care of you. Nobody can do it better than you. I hope this video was helpful. I'm about to go get me a juice. Have a good one.